Katie Steinberg, and this is Game Changers. On today's episode, we have the VP of Marketing for the famous Harlem Globetrotters, and we have the even more famous and lovely Sunny Hickman joining us today. Sunny, thanks so much for joining us. How you doing?
Fantastic, thank you.
Fun facts about Sunny: she loves desserts, runs on coffee, water, and wine. Period.
Complete.
Sunny, how's your day going? It looks like it's pretty sunny.
It is like I'm delivering. I'm doing my job. So the sun is out. Everything is good here. So really wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Oh my goodness. Well, it is. It's perfect that we're able to talk right now. Exactly at this point, this time of the month. So the Harlem Globetrotters, of course, played a huge role in the desegregation of sports. You guys easily won games in the early days because you had such a monopoly on Black players. Chuck Cooper being the first African-American person drafted by the NBA. Minnie Jackson was one of the first ever African-American owners. Correct me if I'm
Minnie
wrong.
Jackson, yes, that's correct.
Okay. What does it mean to contribute to such an important legacy?
To whom much is given, much is required, right? So I think to start for me, it's an honor, right? And really what the Globetrotters did, and if you kind of go back and look at the history of, the style of game that they played, where they played, who they played for, they had this determination, right? And that mindset of sort of find a way or make one, right? And they had that mission. And that sort of idea of find a way or make one, personally for me, my college alma mater, Clark Atlanta University, that was like our motto, find a way to make one. But, with working and looking at the history and what the Globetrotters have done, they gave us, right, this game of basketball that we see today, right? The style of it, the components that they innovated. They really they paved a way. Basketball is an avenue for so many people, whether you're on the court, whether you're coaching, whether you're behind the scenes, right? They opened the door for that. And, basketball led me to my husband. My son, he was a basketball player.
Congratulations.
I was a cheerleader. He played, he had a nice
the classic story.
He had a nice jump shot. Kind of the rest is history. My son plays basketball, right? It's sort of infused my life. And I know that came from what the Globetrotters did as, men of color, right? Who really set forth to bring integration to the game of basketball. So it's, I pinch myself, right? To have an opportunity to kind of recognizing the shoulders of greatness, right? That we stand upon and what our players do today.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's kind of like the what you were saying in the beginning. It reminded me of the Batman quote with great power becomes great responsibility.
Right, that's right.
You were talking about there's just so much history there, right? How do you help preserve the history, and then not only preserve it, but then build onto it by setting the Globetrotters up for the future?
I think it's one. You have to tell it and sort of share that history and sort of and do it in a way, right, today that's going to resonate and connect to sort of with that next generation of fans. So, what are the ways that we tell those stories that are how the Globetrotters have been innovators, right? What they brought to the court and what they have done in terms of bringing a culture into communities and places with people that never saw, right, people that look like them before, right? Globetrotters were playing in front of, audiences that didn't look like them. And that might have been their first exposure to people of color. And so there's great pride in that. So I think it's continue to sort of share those stories, but connecting that dot, right? So when you look at the game of basketball today and you're talking to that next generation of fans, for us, when and where are we doing it? How does the Globetrotters brand, show up? I grew up with the Globetrotters when they were on Scooby-Doo. I am from I remember the Globetrotters there. I never saw them live as a child. So Scooby-Doo, Wide World of Sports, and seeing people right on one of my favorite cartoons that looked like me, right? That sort of made an impression. And I think preserving it is like,
Completely.
how do we ensure that we're continuing to do that? Where you see the Globetrotters in places, right, where kids and families are engaged. And then because of 96 years, right, of history, there's some sharing in that, right? There's some shared nostalgia for parents, grandparents. They remember their Globetrotters, right, experience. And then kids today, that next generation of fans, kind of falling in love with the Globetrotters. And my job.
I was going to say, even the next generation, like I don't know a single person who doesn't know of the Harlem Globetrotters. Even if they don't even know why they know them, they do. You know, it's just one of those like universal things.
Something about, right, that red, white, and blue ball. It's like, it's American team,
yes.
Right?
Yes.
And I don't know how they manage to spin the ball, right, on their finger, right, like that. Like, I'm knocking over stuff. I don't even do it. I don't even try. But it's like sunny, yeah. But that's what we're thinking about, right? That next generation of fans, like, we're approaching our 100-year, anniversary, which is so cool. Incredible. And our focus, right, our mission is like, how are we continuing to connect, right, with that next generation of fans in new and unique ways?
Oh, I love that. I told you from the get-go, I've been thrilled to have you on. I'm so excited and honored, really, truly. We know that the Globetrotters, as an organization, you have an interest in building a public campaign to join the NBA. So if you were to join the NBA, would that honor the past of the organization and then set up its future to make sure it thrives throughout the next century?
But the Globetrotters, really, what we've said is we would love to be part of the NBA, right? As the NBA, the conversations, right, started to be had about expansion teams. And, and hearing and learning about that, sort of as an organization, immediately, why not? Like, it'd be fantastic for the Harlem Globetrotters and the NBA for there to be a Globetrotters team, as part of the league. And, last summer when we really expressed that, the fan response was incredible. If fans sort of, putting together like,
they're flocking.
Yeah, right. It's talking about like, oh, here's where it should be, or here's what the court could look like. So
they're all part of it. They're part of the team,
right? And how just incredible, right? It'd be a win-win, right? With the Globetrotters, with the NBA. We love what the NBA does and continues to do, right? With the level of basketball and how it sort of reaches really, really deep from a competitive standpoint, and we think that the Globetrotters could do the same. Obviously, there's a lot that would go into that, but having the opportunity to explore the idea, we would love it.
I feel like also doing the marketing for the Globetrotters is such a dream, right? Where it's like you can just there's just so much love. So you can just kind of be as creative and just do with that what you will, but it's probably so fun.
Oh man, I have been forever blessed, right? This is most definitely a dream job. I've been fortunate really in my career, right, to do things in the space that I love. One, marketing. And now, my mom cred has gone like way up, right, because it's basketball.
Your kids are like bragging about you at school. You're like,
I'm like, oh my God, like it's really special. And then she's like, my youngest, she's in sixth grade. So now she doesn't play basketball. She plays soccer. And I have to say this when I'm doing interviews, because she's like, well, just because dad and bruh play basketball, like I'm not a sports slacker. So
her
name is Jayla.
Jayla, we don't think you're a slacker. We love that. We love that you play soccer.
She definitely is going to want to hear that, right? So
we do. We do.
And she's pretty dope at it
I think
too.
That's awesome.
So
you're the cool mom at school.
I like to think that I'm pretty good. I got good shoe game, evidently. Cool, that's what her friends have said.
That's very important.
And that's kind of one of the fun things about, being in and around basketball, so much again, right? The culture of it. My son is a sneakerhead. Our oldest, she's a sneakerhead. So kind of being able to like really get deeper, right, into the culture in another way. And now from a marketing standpoint, right, come up with ideas and collaborations with like brands and content and partners. And I mean, our players, I can talk all day about them, right? They're so super dope. So kind of being in this space, it is most definitely a dream come true of really being able to shape this incredible brand. I mean, and it's basketball.
I love that. It's I feel like our conversation sounds like the show like Love and Basketball or something. It's a love affair.
It is. We have this deep romance.
It's deep rooted. Okay. Back to my usual questions. So zooming out of just basketball, there's a lot of conversation right now about how hiring happens. So why women are entering every single level of sports besides, the GM or the coach. Tough question, but what do you think is going to change that?
Yeah, so I kind of take a step back to step forward. So just thinking about, women in the workforce, women in leadership. There's more women in the workplace, right, in the 21st century than ever, right? And kind of leading, right, in the 21st century actually is truly playing to our strengths, right? Women, we have significant, right, we drive purchases or we drive the purchase intent, right? Jokingly, while my husband might say, well, I'm the one who decided that we should go there. I was like, but I'm the one I'm the one who actually got online and made the purchase, right? So we are driving, right, that purchase and purchase intent, right? We're driving the world economy, right, with women, right, in the workplace. But
I'm the one who actually made that purchase.
He's like, it was my idea. Yes, honey. Yes, it was.
You're like, congratulations, I made it happen. Yeah.
But leadership has also changed, right? So some of the themes, right, when you kind of go back for, decades, right, in business and leadership, where it may have been like financial competency was like really the number one skill to have. And thinking about this next generation, right, of leaders and how, right, the generations, right, Gen X, right, that's entering the workplace, human competency, right, is the most important skill. Networks, right? It's really not so much about the hierarchies. It's really about the power and the strength of being able to build networks. Emotional intelligence, right? Being able to relate and connect. All of these are characteristics that are innate to us, right? We network from, through the grocery store, through the school, right? In terms of like, right? Within our friend groups, like that is kind of innate to us.
It's just very natural.
It is. Yeah. So kind of thinking about that, right? It's kind of, you could say girl power, but you could say it's a woman's world, right? In terms of how we're shaping. So now kind of fast forward to your question about, GMs, right? And coaches. To be honest, it's just a matter of time. And and wisdom, right? Like if you are a wise leader and you want a successful organization and you look out at how the workplace, right, is changing, both from talent, right, players on court, the strategies, right, of the game, operationally, right. If you want to be successful, you should be forming and building, right, the team that is going to be reflective of how it's going to impact and drive that next and future generation. And if so, look for us, women, just saying. So
that is so true. The point you also made about even with just like communication. Because if you think about what, GMs or coaches are doing, like so much of it is core communication skills, which are very, just as you mentioned, innate for females. And in terms of like, just getting it done, again, very true. Not that I haven't thought of these on my own, but those are very key. I completely agree. And I do think it's a matter of time. I also agree with you on that. I think there's a lot of, I don't even want to say hope, because hope that, it sounds like hope's like it's almost like a word that you would say if you don't have true belief, I'm very positive on that aspect without question, and positive about our society.
That's right. I mean,
but no, I think it's,
you're seeing it in, right, so many industries, right? You're seeing it in so many spaces already, right? Women, right, that are leading companies. So I think when it comes to sports, I think it's it's happening, right? In some sports, right? And I think it'll continue to move into others. And, it was interesting when I moved into this position, right? I got notes and heard from more young women who are really growing and building in their careers to say, oh my gosh, right, to see you, right, to see someone like you, and also others saying to see someone who looks like me in a role, that is inspiring me. That's kind of gives me the motivation to stay on my grind and to continue to chase, because if you can get to that, then I'm saying to them, so you should just jump me, right? You need to jump right over me and what's next, right? Be it CMO, be it GM, be it CEO, the world is yours. Just go get it.
That's amazing.
Just go get it.
Seriously, yeah. Isn't it so interesting where it's just by simply doing your job and doing it well and just being who you are, you're inspiring so many others. You know what I mean?
I kind of
just for them to be able to see that, and it totally
it's kind of mind blowing. So cool. My mentor, friend, and CMO, Steve Hollowell. I was sort of sharing with him. He's the one actually who called me. Was so what do you think about this Globetrotters position? I was what? But I was sort of sharing with him some of the responses that I've gotten from people about being in this role, and how it was unexpected, but just it also, there's a responsibility, right? It's also sort of that comes along with that of, if I'm kind of cracking the door, if I've opened the door, right, and I now need to kick it wide open and ensure that I'm forming and building that network, right, of leaders around me. So those, powerful women that are coming up in the workforce, so they got next.
So true.
So
true.
That's kind of how I'm thinking about it.
I have faith in you.
I'm going to do my best.
Yeah, you're okay, pressure's on already. No, we only think the best. Okay, so with this, how do you think teams would add a little bit more transparency to the hiring process? Or do you think that's even a possibility?
I think there's a portion of it that as an organization that you kind of have to have real talk with yourselves, right? And sort of look around and sort of look at how you're structured, look at what's missing. Do you really have diversity in thinking? Right. Mm-hmm. And if you don't, then kind of recognizing, again, sort of how the workplace, right, is evolving, how leadership, how, being effective, of how mobilizing, how being, productivity, right, profitability, all of that. If you don't have that, then it's kind of asking yourselves, what do you need to do? So I think a portion of it, with teams, it's turn that mirror, kind of around and start there. And then it should naturally lead you to that.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree. Okay, fun topic. Let's talk about your partnership with Liz. Yes. And how this come about, how did it come to be. We're excited.
So very excited. So last June, right, we relaunched the Globetrotters, right, and our desire objective is, how are we going to reach and engage that new next diverse generation of fans? How are the Globetrotters going to be in the places, right, that people want to engage? Basketball culture is synonymous with style. Synonymous with swag, right? Lids, home of, right, that culture with their hats, right, with their jerseys. And they developed this campaign that was really, they wanted to ground it in sort of honoring those sports organization who gave us game. And it was the Negro League Baseball, the Black Five, and the Harlem Globetrotters.
So
I mean, it was... when it was timely, right? Because it really kind of fit in with our mission. Again, we have a super dope team, Natalie Setton, who heads up our, she's a VP of commercial licensing for us. She gets it, right? She gets the Globetrotter, she gets this brand, and she nurturing and developing those relationships and give us opportunity to talk about this is where the Globetrotters are going. And again, networks. right? And talking about how we can connect in a meaningful way to get to Lids, their customers and our generation of fans. And this is kind of where it was birthed. And 2022, our Spread Game Tour, right, is out right now. We're honoring our Globetrotter legend, Curly Neal, who was number 22, who played for 22 seasons. And we lost him right just before in the early stage of the pandemic. So we never got to really celebrate him. So it all kind of came, kind of full circle. Number 22, celebrating him in 2022. So in the Lids they gave us game, the Globetrotters jersey is number 22, Curly Neal.
That is so cool.
Right?
Oh, I love that. No, that's awesome. It's like before you were kind of saying, like, it's like they kind of just like get it.
Right.
Like it's like a true partnership.
Yes. And
like it's like we actually know and care about the organization.
Do.
That's amazing.
And in that idea of they gave us game, what Curly Neal gave to the game of basketball, that style, the speed, the ball handling, the showmanship, that flash, the energy, you still see it today. You can ask any Globetrotter player, as well as like, Curly made an imprint on their game. So kind of to your question of like, how are you reaching that next generation? A collaboration like this with Lids and the company, right, of the Negro Leagues baseball organization and the Black Five. It's just really, it's an honor. Yeah, it's a privilege. And this is just the start of it, so it's kind of like the campaign launches. It will be in Lids retail stores February 28th. But like, this is really going to be the first wave. So it's going to be like, hurry up and get this, right? Get the products right away. Get your gear.
Yeah. For all the listeners, February 28th, the launch of Lids and Harlem Globetrotters.
Yes, they gave us a...
Let's go to the store.
Go get it and then wait for it, right? Because there's going to be more. And there's a lot of enthusiasm and excitement around it. It's going to be dope.
So do you just have boxes of the Lids hats around your house right now? Now you're really super long for your kids.
I wish. I shared like as the designs were coming, like I share them with my son. I'm like, what do you think? What do you think of this? And now he's like,
oh, that's so.
But fun. Now he's like, yo, mom, like,
where's my cut?
Where's my hat? Where's my shorts? Like we have the shorts are fresh. The colorways are like really cool. Like Lids was very thoughtful in this, right? Aww. So some of the colorways that are introduced will kind of match really well with some of the sneaker drops, that'll be coming up. So like you can get it's awesome. So we're really.
I was gonna ask what other tricks you have up your sleeve, but I feel like there's more coming, so you don't have to tell right now.
But wait, there's more. There's more.
On just a little bit of a more serious note, as you mentioned, Lids has done partnerships with the Negro Baseball League, and then now of course with Harlem Globetrotters. They're not serious, but just, what role do you think that these partnerships play in also helping to preserve the history and then help teach a new generation of this, which is not just sports history, but, the history of the country?
Great question. I think it's like in the spirit of what this campaign is called, right, with Lids. It's sometimes we think about, what we do and try and do it in the form of edutainment, right? Where there's always something, right, that you can learn in the moment, right? Even while you're having a good time. And I think what the Lids campaign is, people want to identify and they kind of see themselves, right, in the brands and the gear and the things that they rock. It looks good. It makes you feel good. But when you kind of put this on and you're wearing it, actually means something. And it ties back to that idea of they gave us game. And, that's what the Globetrotters did. That's what, the Black Five did. That's what the National Negro Leagues Baseball did, right? They did it in this space. And it is sort of sharing that heritage, right? Sharing that history, doing it in an innovative, right, kind of modern way where you're kind of bringing it into today. And then that's going to fast forward. That's going to open up the doors for conversation, right? It's going to open the door for, how you kind of, there was a movie and I can't think of what it was called, but it was the way that you remember the people that you love as you continue to say their name. Right. So those who you've lost, right, and you want to hold on to that, you continue to speak their name, right? You continue to speak them in existence. So they're always there and they're always kind of part of you. And then if your family stops to do that, right, it seems as if they fade away. Right. So that's really what this collaboration, like with Lids, is doing. Us like yet another way for us as the Globetrotters to recognize from whence we came, knowing sort of it's just kind of that building block of what does this look like 100 years from now, right? With the Globetrotters, like we want this product, we want this collaboration, we want people to see, the Curly Neal or, jersey or whatever comes behind that. And like, let that be a spark, right? To inspire them, right? In some way, and be it basketball or something else, right? With the Negro Leagues, right? Something to tell you, be inventive, right? To sort of explore in a space or find a way or make one. So that's how we think about this campaign. And for us, it's all the ways and you can do it. We can do it on the court. With this collaboration, we're doing off the court in retail, right? In product. We'll do other things that are in, content spaces. It's just all over the map, right? It's kind of that 360 edutainment. Yeah, right. I'm teaching you something right now. They're like, what?
Yeah, but it's like slipping it in, you're enjoying it, but you don't even realize that the wheels are turning.
There's something to be learned, right, in the everyday moments. We want that ball to continue to just be as special, right, to that next generation as it's been to those that kind of have come before us.
I mean, I can tell you, I have no doubt that it will be, especially with forces like you handling their marketing, I will say. But no, I mean, what you guys are doing is it's absolutely incredible. And it's what you were saying too, where it's very important. And even just getting those conversations going and continuing to have those conversations. And it's bigger than, as you said, like bigger than just the ball. What more meaningful work could you be doing?
Yeah.
I think it's awesome. I'm just very impressed with you guys. As you, I have one last question for you, but as you touched on before, so the Globetrotters attempted 22 records in only 2 days. And yeah, we already spoke on this, but it's just how you're already keeping events like this, or how do events like this keep interest in the team? And then what other promotion? We already touched on this. We're not going to go into this.
Interesting note, comment on that, right? With the first sort of the attempting 22, Guinness World Record.
Yeah.
I had an interesting conversation. So we have our new president of the Harlem Globetrotters and Hershey Entertainment Studios, who we just announced, Keith Dawkins, talk about the thinking and sort of how we continue to shape this, shape the Globetrotters and sort of reach that next generation of fans. This guy, he's incredible. Very excited about his wisdom and knowledge, right, in the style that he's been. But Keith and I were talking about Globetrotters and these shots that they make, right, from stands and from opposite in the courts and all of that. Yeah. And it says something. It's like they're actually really ballers, right? So it kind of says something. It's like not only can they play, but they can also do these out of this world trick shots with the basketball.
They're entertainers,
right? And they're,
it's not just players, it's entertainers as well.
Yeah, and they challenge themselves, right? Sort of, what else can I do with the physics, right, in order to get this ball, do that. It's
so cool.
So we wanted to, the players want to honor Curly Neal with 22 Guinness World Record attempts. Never attempted this many Guinness World Records, and they made 18. They got 18 out of 22 world records.
They got 18 different world records within 2 days. Oh my gosh. I read on this and I don't even think I processed 18. That is insane.
Incredible feats with the basketball.
forget, they're basketball players, they're ballers, but they're world record breakers as well.
Yes. So that was really a special day. And like after they would set one, like the kind of the thrill of the moment, right? They'd all kind of hug and high five and do all that. And many of them like, this is for Curly. There were some of the players I know, Rock Wham Middleton, he's been working to break one of the world records that he attempted. I think it was like the most dribbles in a minute. And it's a very meticulous process, right? If you see the clip of like, it looks like he's playing like a snare drum as he's dribbling the ball. He didn't think that he got the record. So like the emotion that overtook him, right, when he actually did it, they're just committed to their craft. And that just applies.
And that's all you
right?
can ask for.
And that's with anything, right? And anywhere. And I think that's always one of the messages that they like to give when they're talking to kids, when they're talking to families. It's like, whatever it is, commit to your craft. Like, work on it. Coach Lou Dunbar, who's also a Globetrotters legend, still coaches, he would say like, take that basketball to your hotel room with you. And we're like, what? Take it with you. Like, work on your craft, right? And you see that with people in sports and the things that you're passionate about. It takes work and commitment. And that's what they do on top of wanting to make that moment, that interaction with whomever it is that they see the best possible moment that they can. Because in their minds, in our players' minds, they don't know what's happening outside of that moment.
Yeah.
And they just want to leave an imprint that just feels good and matters. Yeah. There's so, I know they're so good.
It's really, really, really fun too, as well, to see someone so genuinely excited to speak about the people that they are able to market for. You know what I mean? Just so excited about their job.
Me too.
But it is an honor. It's what we spoke about before. It's quite an honor to be a part of the organization that you are.
That's
right. So, what a dream to be able to market for them. What a creative dream.
It is a dream. I knock on wood. I thank God every day. And I just want to work hard to do my part, right? I want the players. I want my team. I want my leadership. I want people to kind of be proud, right, of what they're doing. And if I can help contribute, right, and sort of be that building block, right, for who's got next, right, the next version of a Sonny Hickman or someone that's like doper than me, right? If I can just kind of get it ready for them, I just want to do all that I possibly can. Well,
Sonny, you're definitely bringing the sun to the Globetrotters and making them shine for all of us. Cheesy as it sounds, I bet it. Oh my goodness. Well, I just want to thank you so much for being such a phenomenal guest and for joining us today. I've enjoyed this conversation so much. I'm a fan, and then also it's so incredible to be able to speak with you and hear it firsthand. But to all the listeners out there as well, do not forget to make sure to check out the Lids and Harlem Globetrotters partnership that is launching February 28th.
Absolutely. Right? You can see the Globetrotters in a city near you. The Spread Game Tour is still happening, right? So that's through the beginning of May. So you can check out the Globetrotters website. Awesome. So yeah, you can get some Globetrotters in your life in a lot of ways.
Yes. We'll emulate them. It's a vibe.
A whole vibe. That is a fact. The Globetrotters, whole vibe.
So it's a vibe. It's a lifestyle. Sonny, thank you so much again. And be sure to tune in every Wednesday for new episodes of Game Changers. Sonny, you are definitely a game changer. Right.
Thank you for having me.